on him. Just let him go down. Yeah. And I think it's going to open the floodgates. I think many other people in the industry are not sleeping.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where did all these things happen? Like, it's like all the music, like, I feel like we're going to go back to just listening to Mozart, you know? Yeah, you were hooked on it.
That's the formula. It's addictive. People like that.
I wanted to see what happened.
A wholesome reality show gets no rating.
Now I comment on every single thing you post.
Oh my God.
Every single thing. I said, bros.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of It Depends, I Guess podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Caroline.
And at the back, we have
DJ.
Woo.
Welcome back.
Another beautiful day.
Yes.
Another episode.
I was going to say another month. It's
it is. We're in October, actually. It's my favorite month of the year.
Well, yes. Birthday month.
It's my birthday month. And I'm receiving gifts throughout the month.
What's your birthday wish?
Oh, good question.
To be at the beach somewhere.
No, gift-wise. Please, don't give us stuff we can't.
Listen. I will be at the beach somewhere lying. But I could go to a spa, so I can get like a spa voucher.
Okay.
Or I could do a fancy dinner, so that also can get paid for, you know?
Oh, she wants a gift of experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
So keep them coming.
Yeah, yes.
It's nice to turn 25.
It is indeed.
Must be nice.
It's good.
Let's ignore the perimenopausal things we've discussed in other episodes. We are having early.
Very early.
Perimenopause.
Maybe we should actually have a conversation about perimenopause and menopause at some point.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
You might have to put that in layman's language, layman's terms. What's perimenopause?
Oh.
It is the menopause before the menopause.
It is where you start seeing the signs that your body is changing hormonally. And most people don't realize that it starts as early as in your 30s.
Yeah.
I bet you 15,000 francs that no other man knew what that was.
Yes.
And the men who was listening are probably happy that I asked.
And question for you, do you know about menopause?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know about
what
that
do you
part.
know? What do you know about menopause?
That's when there are no more baby parties, no baby reveals, no baby namings. Okay. That's it.
Interesting. Because I was listening to someone saying that it's so interesting how menopause has been packaged. It has been packaged as a purely reproductive thing. But in actuality, a big part of it is even the changes in your brain, things like that. So it's less about just, you can't get pregnant anymore. It's also about you start being forgetful or brain fog or your body changes. Also forget just the reproductive bit. It's like how your body processes food or, even just sleeping patterns and all those different things.
Yeah, and you start actually losing muscle mass.
Yeah.
And also your bone density actually goes down as you age.
Yeah.
So there's so much in that packaging of menopause.
Yeah. People just think it's just...
I just stop having a period and I can no longer get pregnant.
And they're moody. That's it.
Yeah. And they get hot flashes.
More. Yeah. It's so much more than that.
Maybe we should have a topic on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
All right. Starting with your has of the week.
A has of the week.
Actually, let me start because I know yours.
It's going to take
forever.
Might be in depth.
I realized this, and actually it's my cousin who told me, and I was just like, interesting, and then to research. Did you know, traditionally, most African tribes, women never took their husbands' names.
Oh, yes.
And that is a thing that came in with the Victorian era and colonialism.
I learned that very recently, actually.
Yeah.
They used to be called, in Kikuyu, because I'm from Kikuyu, they used to be called daughter of.
Yes.
Or they would always retain their father's name, but never took the husband's name. Yes. Yeah, that I learned recently.
You retain your lineage.
Yeah.
I think in the Shona, it's also part of you guys have something called a totem?
Yeah.
Totem. Yes. So
totem.
You retain.
Mutupo.
What's that?
It's like it's an animal that is, I don't know, I'm not really sure of the ins and outs of it because I was young when I left Zimbabwe. I think it's the animal that represents your family. So whatever a totem means, what does that mean? We'll Google that and put it in the description below. Let us know.
So it's like an animal that's representative of your
Of
clan.
your clan, yeah.
Of your clan.
Yes.
Also, that way, if you meet people and you know their totem, people of the same cannot. It's a way of also trying to figure out how close are you to your own bloodline when it comes to like marrying and procreation and things like that.
So you actually never intermarry within the same.
I assume so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Small clan or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. And I was just like, oh, interesting. There's so many things were like, oh, but I want to be traditional. No, that was never our tradition.
Yeah.
So we never had that. And it's, if not all, over 90% of African tribes never had women taking their husband's name.
Do you sometimes think tradition was whatever made the chief comfortable is what he said was tradition? So whatever was convenient for him. Because that was the leader of the clan.
So I don't know if it was, and even I don't know when there was chiefdoms. I think there was mainly chiefdoms. I don't know if maybe some had kingdoms. But I still think laws were made by like representatives of the society. So similar to how now we have these parliaments, etc. There was a much more granular version of that within like your village or your tribe or your sub-tribe that kind of came up with, and again, rules always came out of something.
Yeah.
So something happens and people are like, oh, okay, maybe we should have a thing that figures that out.
Yeah.
And we then all know, oh yeah, you cannot marry a cousin because we have seen when this happens, our offspring looks like this, right? So I think there's things that were happening that
And
I assume...
I do have the sentiment in my head that most of the things that happened, there was an actual bigger reason behind them. We probably have not had that knowledge transfer happen. But specifically going back to about daughters never losing their father's name, I do have the inclination to see it as a fact that a woman was very valued in whichever home they had come from.
Yes.
So you could never completely...
You're not this disposable thing.
Yes. Yeah. You could never be completely somebody else's. You were always your father's daughter. Yeah. In most of our African tribes. So there is reason why that probably was the case. But it's an aha for me because I just learned about this week. I do love Lynn Ngugi shows, you know. So I was watching she's a doctor, I think she's called Wanjiro somebody, and she's 84-year-old. So she was talking a lot about some of the traditions that have existed and also knowledge transfer from kids from mothers to their daughters, from grandparents to their grandkids, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we'll start having a segment of Did you know?
Did you know? Yes.
Tied to African shit because there's so many things I am
For any
discovering.
non-African people that might watch this podcast, you might think we are against a lot of Africans because it always seems...
We against or pro?
Oh, we are very pro.
We are very pro of the African ways.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, there was a time where you could not be pro-African anything. Everything was always looked at as it is a bit backward, you know. Even now, there are people, savages. There are people who think that way, even up to today. Even when it comes to things like the way Africans related to their higher power, like God, you know. Even now, it's always looked at something not good. But, you know, a lot of people are going back to spaces where they're like, you know what? Our ancestors were not stupid, you know.
Yeah.
They did something because of a certain reason. We don't need to adopt everything.
Yeah.
But there was good to whatever existed.
Yeah. There's a lot
I think we are pro. We become very pro.
We are regaining.
Yes.
Is that the word? Yes.
Yes.
Like taking back.
Do you think
our
it's an age
Africanism?
thing?
That's a good question. Is it an age
It's
thing?
thing. A 20-year-old's thinking this way. Maybe somebody who's 20 in the comments should tell us.
I think it's also timing because maybe these conversations are being had more now when they're young. So to them, it's like, oh, they're learning it at a good age versus for me at that age, a lot of what was impressing upon me more was religion. Right? So I think it's just the time of place we're in. We're in a time, I think maybe it's not lost on me that we're also in a time where being African is cool, Afrobeats is cool,
Yeah.
right? So it's also a time period, I think, maybe that we're thinking about, okay, what else? And for me, I know it coincides with also, I'm also not religious.
Yeah.
So it's making me seek out more information that I just didn't have before, or before I just never really dug into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
is
we are
timing. It's
pro-African.
pro-Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean we're anti other things, we're just pro.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it resonates on the other side. Whenever people are talking about, and it's a weird way of human beings that if I say, how are you today? I'm black and I'm proud. You know, it sounds like,
Oh, the other person is a bit like,
yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You know, I've realized this is a human nature, human way of thinking. Like, if I'm pro to something, it does not necessarily negate.
That I'm anti something else. Yeah,
And also
this is the thing I care about.
This is what I care about. And
Yeah.
also, it doesn't negate your experience.
Yeah, that's true.
If I say I'm pro-African, it doesn't say I'm not pro maybe white, whatever exists in this community I'm in. I'm proud to be in this country. I'm
Yeah.
proud to be in Europe.
Yeah.
But I'm also very pro-African.
Yeah, I'm
it
proud of
doesn't-
my roots.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not negating anything.
Yeah.
you can chew chewing gum and walk at the same time.
Amen. That's exactly it.
Yes. You got that one. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm killing it on the ad libs today.
I
Come
tell
on,
you.
let's go.
Come on. Yes, you're
Energy, action.
Yes.
So my week has been deep in the rabbit hole of what's happening on the internet and the world. And one thing that I've been curious about is Diddy.
Oh my God.
Diddy.
He's
The
going down.
diddler.
Diddy. Why are they calling him Diddler? Like,
You know, the Riddler was a villain in Batman. Yeah, so
okay.
the Riddler was a play on, because he dressed up. Did he dress up? No, he dressed up as a Joker for one
Yeah.
night. But the Riddler was a villain, a Batman villain,
Okay.
a very famous one. So he would say riddles and then trick people into doing stuff, and then he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
So now the Diddler happened to work out. Yeah.
This is why I've been seeing this all over my, feed, whether it's on TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram. So I am amazed by some of the content that has come out, and specifically the ahas I came to realize is 8 years ago, Kanye did a video of a big bed with a lot of celebrities.
Yeah. That or
It's
what
called
music video
Famous.
was that? Yes.
The song is famous.
I made the bitch famous.
Yes,
You know
yes.
that song, yeah.
And the whole
That's the
thing-
one Taylor Swift was like, I didn't give you permission. Yeah, there's a whole thing.
And I wondered, were these mannequins?
Yeah, the
Oh,
mannequins,
They
yeah.
are mannequins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although maybe Kim was in the bed too, but it was Kim for real.
It
But
was
then
Kim,
Kim
everyone
was there
else
for real.
was
Even Trump
mannequins.
was there.
Trump was in it, yeah.
So if you haven't watched that video, it's Kanye 8 years ago, famous, it is actually sort of a revelation of what was happening in some of these Diddy's freak off parties, because it said that there was one big bed where people would come and all these things would happen in these parties. Some of them were white parties. But yeah, everybody was sleeping in the same bed. But now the most shocking part for me was there's a girl who came out on she's been talking about this for a while, I think since 2020. Her name is Ali Carter. And she talks about there was a lot of child trafficking that actually happened. And she was trafficked since she was a child and used in some of these parties. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did all these things happen? It's like all the music, I feel like we're going to go back to just listening to Mozart,
Somebody was saying the other day on Instagram, listen to all your favorite music now from that period,
because
before all these people are under the jail.
I was what was I listening to? Is it Asha, or I was Tevin Campbell? And every time I'm listening to a 90s banger or music or whatever hit was, I'm thinking to myself, maybe these were people who were actually part of what was happening back then. Because people cancelled R. Kelly, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to ask Dr. Uma
Most
where
people
we
in the
stand.
West, because if you're in African countries,
No, they don't care.
hey, I believe I can fly.
fly.
Still jamming, let me tell you.
What does that say about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so funny whenever that happens, and I'm just like, wow.
Do you think there's something to be said about separating the human being from the art? You know,
It depends.
separate what he is or what he says and what he does to what he makes. So if he makes nice shoes, those are nice shoes. I don't mind.
I think
if he makes nice clothes, those are nice clothes.
for me-
it doesn't take away the fact that those are nice
Yes,
clothes.
we
They are
can't-
nice clothes.
We don't refute that happens.
The
yes.
king of R&B is R. Kelly. No matter if he
Yes.
did that stuff or not, or whether he did that stuff or not, he's still the best at what he did.
He was.
But unfortunately, his character is what took the front line of his music.
But somebody.
Can we not separate the two?
No, let me give you a good why I am completely against. I feel some of these songs that actually came out around that time when all this was happening, they were actually confessions of what was going on. So you're actually consuming some evilness, if I was to call it evil in my eyes, because if you're trafficking kids, if you're having these parties that are actually just to use and abuse people, I don't want to listen to songs and be part of those songs.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say, yes, we don't refute the fact that the music is good. But if that music is talking about something that was actually an injustice, I wouldn't listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, when you listen to music, do you
Yeah.
consume music with the intention of understanding what's going on? There's some music I listen to and I don't
We have no
care about
clue.
understanding what
That's true.
In a cup drip. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but it vibes. The vibe is,
I think it depends. So
I guess.
It
Yes.
depends, I guess. So.
for once I got it.
Yeah.
Something like AJ Nothing But a Number. That song clearly is now when you know what you know, that song is like different
Yeah.
because then you understand, oh, okay. This man is definitely not talking about consent in this case,
Yeah.
right? So something like that, for sure, I'll consciously or intentionally not like listen to that or play that. But then at the same time, there's also music like Step in the Name of Love or whatever that was even sometimes used to play it in church settings, etc., because it was quite agnostic and also evoked a feeling of celebration of love and things like that. And many people got married to those songs. So it's something like that you can't really take away.
So
But at the same time, if I look at, let's say, Bill Cosby's case, as much as we can say, oh, cancel him and all his art included other people, right? So there's all Felicia Rashad, all these people who are on like the Cosby Show, some who are kids, etc., who are getting punished just
for
by
the sins
proxy.
that were not his,
For
theirs,
sins that are not his.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think it really depends. And even the music industry, there's people who were involved in like making the video, there's publishers who like were not the writers. If you wrote Agent Nothing But a Number, maybe you also should get out. But like there's other people who are involved in that who are, the career is bigger than this one person. There's many others. So it's tricky because the people who probably didn't know or who they only just come in, they're like, okay, what are we doing? It's a concept video. All right, here's a choreography. You just bring dancers. You've done your part. Everyone makes a check and you go home.
Yeah.
Right? So
But now that you know,
Yeah.
for me, that's the question.
So
But now that you
now
know,
that I know the specific art, like so the ones that are clearly talking
Yes.
about him celebrating bad things he was doing,
Yeah.
those ones for sure, I'm like,
Yeah.
those should be pulled from every catalog,
Yeah.
right? Then there's the ones I'm saying like Step in the Name of Love,
Yeah.
I believe I can fly, that were part of a bigger
yeah,
cultural thing, people's weddings, and I guess those ones, I don't know, it's dice. You can't take away if that somebody hears that song and they remember the beautiful day that they got married,
Yeah.
or somebody proposed to them or whatever. So I don't know, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, I think once we decide to cancel the person for the songs that the person for his actions, we should also cancel the songs that push a bad narrative.
yeah.
So anything that could encourage someone else to do bad things to someone else.
Yeah. Those
There's
should
a
be
song
out,
called
for sure.
Smack My Bitch Up. This is actually exactly what I don't know if there's an undertone to it or it means something else, but that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Or Bombay Bye in a Batty Boy Head.
Yeah.
People would
Yeah.
sing that
We
loud.
Yeah, that's
Sing that loud, not
Yeah.
understanding what it means. Do you understand what it means?
No.
So it's, you know the song, don't you?
No.
So
a
boom,
dancehall song.
gunshot,
Oh.
bye bye
Ah.
in a Batty Boy.
Ooh. Okay.
You
so
get
we're
it now.
talking about
It's homophobic.
taking somebody off.
Yes,
Specifically a gay person.
Yeah.
a gay person.
Oh.
So
You know, I do believe in this one thing that a lot of the music that we consume and listen to, sometimes we don't know they have a lot of energy attached to them. So if you're listening to the song that's talking about the bad things you're going to do to a person, you're carrying that with you. Like that's what you're feeding your mind. And there's a girl who actually did an experiment. I found her on, I think, Instagram or TikTok. She did an experiment for several months where every month she would concentrate on one artist and listen to that artist throughout the day. And then she could feel like her energy shifting. Like, for example, she did Cardi B and she was like, she was this woman. Like,
You feel like you just want to twerk on the tram. You're like,
it's
hey.
like you're so hyper, you have that energy. And you can imagine if you have positive influence with the kind of songs you're listening to, what about the negative ones?
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
Yeah.
that's true. There are some artists that make me feel aggressive or feel like I there's
How did I know
You're
that?
angry with the world.
yes, like there's someone who's about to do me wrong because but which is, it's meant to be entertainment.
Yeah.
Just for entertainment. But I don't think your brain, it's like watching a movie that is acted out so well.
Yeah.
I don't know if my brain can tell the difference because some aspects of the movie, depend on how good it was acted out, can stay within my mind.
Yeah.
Unknowingly, I know this is fake. This is fake. But when I watched it, I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like Paranormal Activity, you should watch that.
Oh, don't. I didn't.
Paranormal
I slept with the light on for a week.
Watch it.
Paranormal Activity.
The first one.
Which one? The movie?
Yeah,
That's the one I
movie,
didn't finish.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one
no.
you didn't finish.
You know, nowadays I don't
You know how
watch
she
it.
can't do horrors. If you think
Nah.
about it, she's
I used to
worse.
be. I used to be a high consumer of horror movies.
I
But
knew
now-
it was fake.
But you could-
yo,
But the way it's shot is very.
It's
It
very-
feels documentary, and documentary from first person perspective.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It's like me walking in the woods with like a camera. It feels very home video.
So I should watch it during the
Me, I
day.
couldn't finish
watch it fresh in
Tell
the
me.
morning. Actually, get up early. Get up round about 5-6:30. Watch it then.
And then,
then
watch
go through the
Shrek
rest of
1,
the day.
Shrek 2, Shrek 3 to erase.
Sanitize myself.
No, but I'm
with
just saying,
sometimes
yeah,
your brain-
Yeah.
that effect of a well acted out
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think our brains can separate the two.
And I think we've even gone a step further. Think about reality TV
Yeah.
that's marketed as reality TV.
Yeah.
But the ones that are big are where people are smashing each other in the face, like the Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Real Housewives, all of the franchises. If there's no fight, people are like, oh, it's boring.
It's not
There's not
popping.
enough drama. And people now are trying to live life that way. But that's not a reality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know times when I meet with my friends and then it's like we're talking and then suddenly I'm like, oh, what? And I throw it in your face. And
Yeah,
it's
it
just
doesn't-
like, that's not how life is.
Yeah.
And if you have friends like that, that's really shit. But it's been marketed to us as reality TV
But it's
and we consume so much of that. I was even thinking about the fact that there was a writer's strike. Was it last year or this year? The
it
time
was
there
last
was
year.
a actors and writers
Hollywood,
strike.
yeah.
But you see, reality TV doesn't fall in that category. So there was so much reality TV that was being churned out. And all of them have known the formula is as much drama,
yeah. Drama
more
sells.
viewership,
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah.
No one wants a wholesome, oh,
You remember
love each other. No one cares for that shit.
90 Day Fiance?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Have you watched it?
I watch it. I
Have
happen
you
to
seen
pop into
with
it
Michael
once in a while.
and that American crazy woman? Michael and
The Ghanaian guy. or
the Nigerian guy.
Yeah.
And what's her name? this older woman who goes to Nigeria. She goes there and gets married to him and brings him back over, and
treats him like shit.
Treats him like shit.
But you see, things like that. 90 Day Fiancé has insane viewership.
And they kept bringing her back.
They keep bringing them back.
And people were saying, take this woman off the show. What she's doing to this guy is wrong.
But they get so much viewership. But basically, it's like abuse.
Yeah.
Like emotional abuse. It's
You're
insane.
right. See, and I kept watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were hooked on it.
That's the formula. It's addictive. People like that.
I wanted to see what happened.
A wholesome reality show gets no ratings.
Now I comment on every single thing you post.
Oh my God.
Every single thing. I said, bros.
So the guy himself.
Some new shoes. Yeah, he posts some new shoes, something like that, a sky or something like that. Man,
yeah.
My guy.
You see, so our brains, before it was just movies, now we have reality TV where we are being told this is how life exists. Everything is high drama and high whatever it is. Everything is just on edge, and that was they are generating a population of people who are just very aggressive, and it's not real life.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that humanity has, and especially when you talk about people who meditate and people who want to center themselves, there's a concept that is told that whatever you tell your brain does not understand the reality and fiction. So that's a concept in how, when you're trying to ground yourself or to meditate, make your thoughts go away or have positive thoughts, because your brain doesn't know the difference whether...
Even how you talk to yourself.
Yes,
That's
even
true.
how you
do
talk
something
to yourself.
and you say to yourself, man, you're stupid. Your brain doesn't process that.
Yes.
You have to figure out how to talk to your...
Yes, to your inner self. So
Yeah.
imagine that same concept. Now you're consuming stuff where your brain does not know the difference between whether you're in danger or not, whether it's physical danger or imagined danger, whether it's good stuff or not. Your brain consumes it exactly as the same.
Yeah.
I think the older we get, the more we have a bit of discernment. But like when you're young, your brain doesn't know the difference whether it's real or not. You know, so you go through the world in this state of either you're in fear because you've watched paranormal activities, or you have so much drama in your life because you've watched a lot of drama.
Consuming a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And then now we've also, I think it's a part that really freaks me out about humanity now. I don't know if we can ever undo it.
Yeah.
Is I see so much content on social media, people just recording things happening to people.
Yeah.
Or this person is fighting with a friend, pull up the camera, right? And then if you see, you pan, everyone is around just with their camera. And I'm like, where have we gotten to? Because everyone now wants to rush to be the first one to post. Because I have a story of...
I can explain to you where that came from.
Yeah.
A thing called World Star. Started, I think, in 2007 or 8. World Star Hip Hop, before the internet they had big enough cloud drives to upload videos to the internet. This was the main thing, and that pushed out the narrative that one video could change your whole life. So if you are in one video and you capture when this person attacked that person, they end up being famous and you do too. So I think that narrative of fame can also come from what you capture. Sadly that, we are in a society where, I'm also guilty of doing it, of watching this rubbish that when it comes on, because, that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to miss out. Everyone wants to capture that moment, if not for myself, for other people.
Also to make myself look good for my friends.
For my friends and
it's so funny. When I'm on X, I go in because I'm like, something is happening. Let's say right now in Kenya,
X is a dangerous
our
place.
deputy president is in the process of getting impeached. Yeah. So that's where I know I can get like quick updates of what's happening. So I'll go find the hashtag and I just look through, get a sense of what's happening and exit. I do not browse on X.
Yeah.
Because
don't do
the
that.
shit that comes at you, there's no community guidelines.
Now
there.
it makes sense why they call it X.
It is the Wild West.
So I do have a big problem with what happened with X after Elon Musk took over. A lot of privacy and sort of protection for people, like
Even the moral clause out of there.
completely went out. Like, do you know, sometimes even though we demonize TikTok, even some things you cannot search.
No, you can't search them. You won't find
And they
it.
completely flag them off. Like there are even hashtags that cannot exist, or even some words. Like if you say certain words on TikTok, your video gets banned. Like,
And they say that's the worst place to go.
yes.
TikTok?
Yeah.
They've not been to X. Hey.
That X
No,
is-
but X, even the people, I've seen like people who do adult content, they advertise on TikTok,
Yeah.
go to X to see my adult content on X.
Yeah, there it's full on.
It's full on, like there
It's
are
full on.
no restrictions.
There's not even the blur of this is explicit content.
No.
Nothing. You just scroll and you're like, whoop, all
Yeah.
right.
Nowadays you can't open X in front of people
Oh, no.
because
That one
you'll
is
be
just
scrolling on.
no.
or if your friend sends you a link, which is on X,
We
you
just say
need to
no.
wait until
I wait
lunchtime.
until I get home. It's not in public.
First of all, make sure you have your headphones
Yeah.
on. It cannot be a video.
Sometimes your headphone has decided if it's Bluetooth has said disconnect.
Yes.
No, ma'am. No.
So this is actually back to the point of,
Yeah.
of the music that we consume
Yeah.
also is it's dangerous to us,
Yeah.
even if we just see it as music. A lot of people will just disregard it or think, even that's why I always listen to the cleanest place. I can't wake up and watch news because there's bad news. There's no news that's good these days.
No, there's
Let me
not.
tell you, I saw an
Now I
ad.
listen to radio when I wake up,
Radio like
like FM radio.
I was going to say old school radio.
Though
Radio,
like
radio.
R&B, like Capital.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to
Yeah.
listen to because they still have some basic fundamentals that they run by. They
Yeah, that's
won't play
true.
any curse music. They won't play any
have to
negative
play the
stuff.
good
They have to
version of
play
it.
the good version of
Yeah.
it and all that. And it's feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
that's
high
true.
energy
That's
that
true.
will wake you up for the day. If I wake up and I start scrolling, I try not to scroll before I go to work. Because that will set your day in a trajectory that you don't. Your brain is already telling you that, whoa, there's a lot of bad stuff happening. Even if you get a message saying, oh, check this out on X.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
do it. Don't do it.
That's
You
really
just-
good hygiene for.
Yeah, you just said something on
continuity.
news. I saw the wildest ad which I need to find. It was where did I see this ad? Did I see it on CNN or somewhere? Where it shows it's a snapshot. It's like war in Gaza, then it cuts to something in Congo, and then it cuts to all these
Yeah.
really shitty things. And I thought the outcome was going to be something wholesome. Then it was like, yeah, with all the news happening right now, we condense the news for you. So sign up to this podcast. I was like, huh? Literally, I'm going to sign up for a Doom podcast so you can
You can tell me how
summarize
the
for
world
me
is-
all the shit things. I was just like, this is an ad.
Yeah.
I said, wow.
It makes you think maybe there's why is it like that? It was never always like that.
Because I tell you, we are in a time where we just, the worst, there's something about the formula that works right now is if
Yeah.
it's bad
It has
news,
to be sensationalized.
people are, it's like you can't get off of it. You'll be like, yeah, this stuff that's happening here is really bad. But then you have the news cycle still running in your background the entire day. So you know what's, like you're just watching disaster after disaster after disaster. And then one small snippet in the middle there, they'll throw in to say how this dog was rescued. Then we're back to disaster. Like it's just,
I am the watcher of disaster. I watch the news every morning. I watch different channels. So the first thing I watch is Al Jazeera, and because I know they're gonna do unbiased reporting, especially when it comes to what's
unbiased
happening.
disastrous.
Unbiased disaster reporting, and then I watch CNN just to see the theatrics of what's happening in America, and Bloomberg and some Kenyan news. But yes, the highlights of every morning when I'm watching the news, the highlights are the war in Gaza and what's happening in Russia. And funny enough, they don't cover a lot of Congo.
No.
You know, that's the funny part.
Africa news
It's no news.
is no news. You know, the savages are used to killing each other.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's show, where the proper people,
Yeah.
proper, It fucking sucks.
But there's some good snippets in, especially I do love CNN because Larry Madowo does some interviews. Like the other day, I was watching him interview Wole Soyinka, and he also interviewed Rema.
African stories.
Yeah,
That's
African Voices.
African Voices.
Yeah. Wole Soyinka was like,
But that's like once a week. It's not every day.
yeah, it's once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a snippet in
Yeah.
there of what's happening.
Yeah, I
but
like Wole Soyinka.
yes,
He said
oh my gosh.
the secret to aging is wine. Did he say wine?
Did he say wine? I know he has like a whole compound where this is how I want to retire, like him. I actually looked at that house. I was like, this is my dream compound and the house. Like he lives in a compound that has lots of trees, and he's not doing a lot of more interviews now. And he's like, is it he's just turning his 80s or 90s?
I don't know, but he looks so
I think
good.
90s, yeah, but he's still very strong.
Yeah,
you know?
his mind is still sharp.
Yeah, very sharp.
Yeah.
And very well articulated
Yeah.
at his age and talking about the history. Yeah. So anyway, back to watching the news, but I do get a lot of doom news every morning. And it's kind of depressing, honestly, when you start your day that way.
It is. Everything is depressing now, I tell you.
Yeah.
But back to Didi.
Yeah.
'Cause I had I was listening to, it was probably Dr. Umar. Because you were playing it in the background. And he's out here saying how, the basically I don't even know, should I call it a conspiracy theory? Basically, everyone has this theory about, the reason he's being arrested now is because he pissed off, I don't know what corporate he pissed off or whatever he did. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't care why. Like, I don't care if it was he pissed off some political entity, so then they're like, this guy, we should take him down, or whether it's, some people think it's because it's a distraction from the politics,
Yeah.
and all these things. In my mind, I'm like, I don't care.
It still happened.
This dude did some terrible shit, and there's many others like him still in the industry.
Yeah.
So yeah, let him go down, and then others can also go down. Like, this whole thing of, to me, the underlying message I get when people don't focus on the things he did and are focusing on why is it that now they want to bring down the black man. I'm just like, are we just to me it feels like you're excusing the
people
shit.
saying that?
Yeah, still happening.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm just like, for whatever reason that this is happening now.
Yeah.
In fact, it's too late. The point is, there needs to be examples of people who feel like somehow they're above the law and they can just do whatever shit that they want, have been harassing people, like, and then the fact that now when he's caught, everyone now has a story of like, I knew, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Is it Diddy? Okay. You would give these conspiracy theories air or time if you hadn't seen that girl being dragged through that passage.
But did you need to say that to
I think I would have given him the benefit of the doubt.
really?
You
with
would
all
have.
the stories that came, really?
I think even
I
the
think I would
video
have given him
where
a little bit of the
even
benefit.
after
It's just
even after
video.
she like the case she filed was public.
yeah.
So, and I think that kind of makes me
See,
a
when
bit
he
sad.
paid, that was
But see, let's say even if he didn't pay, I am sad that people just didn't believe Cassie just from the word go.
Yeah, but
that it required the payments and then the video being people to be like, okay,
she's telling
yeah,
the
that
truth.
is unfortunate that people.
that's
think that
really
way.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because
this is-
knowing how powerful that man is, the fact that she put herself out there to be like, because nobody was saying shit.
And he knew he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so powerful. So just for her to come out, I'm just like, it's sad that people are still like, but she was living rich. Why is she coming out now? Is it because she's with like her broke personal trainer or whatever? I'm like, this guy is powerful. The fact that she came out at all
Do you know how many other people have come out? Almost 3,000.
Yeah.
after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost
See,
3,000.
and you guys were here questioning The amount of baby oil that was in his house.
I
All
was-
those 3,000 people.
I was coming to that baby oil story.
Oh my
What was
God.
the baby oil about?
All that baby
knows?
oil. Like, to
Sometimes I
entertain
hate the
3,000
internet.
people.
Sometimes I hate the internet.
What?
How they've latched onto the baby oil is
Listen,
the story. Is
listen.
the headline story.
There was KY jelly there. Nobody's talking about that.
It's the baby.
It's the baby oil.
Have you seen the memes of people going to the supermarkets to buy baby oil?
Do you know who's the real loser in this?
Who is?
Johnson and Johnson.
Oh
They
my God.
cannot catch a break.
But do you know they're
know how
gaining
many
a lot because finally there are people who are actually heading to buy the baby
They're
oil.
trending
No
now.
way.
Then people's, I guess, some companies
From-
live by all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
You remember the baby powder thing?
Hey,
What was
baby
that?
powder?
There was a baby powder thing about Johnson & Johnson baby powder is weird
Oh,
for
it's,
babies.
it's not good for kids.
Yes.
It's got
Yeah.
bad properties in it. Yeah.
That happened. COVID, the vaccine, messed that up.
Oh,
That
Johnson
happened.
Johnson vaccine had some
Oh,
issues
no.
too.
Oh,
yeah.
They
That's
cannot
true.
catch a break, these
they're,
people.
they're cashing money now. Because I'm telling you, even me the other day, I thought to myself, you know, baby oil, eh? I've not explored. Maybe it helps. Honestly, I did.
There's a good friend of mine who said, yo, you know, we've got me and my wife, we've got one bottle of baby oil here that we've had for 3 years. We cannot. And he's thinking 3,000 of them. 3,000.
It was 1,000.
1,000.
Yes.
Oh, man. The
And there was
1,000
That's
bottle.
Did you see the
1,000 too
picture?
many.
1,000 too many.
I didn't see the picture. Okay, for real, those pictures. I didn't.
Yes. There was a picture.
And my friend
I bet you they call the camera crew to capture those ones. The
Gotta
salacious
see
things
this.
to capture.
Have to see.
No, we'll put the picture actually on
Okay,
the
that's
video.
bad.
If you listen to this
Oh
podcast,
my
I'll have to
God.
put that picture there. Because 1,000 bottles. So anyway, this is probably a lot of conspiracy theories, but there were people saying like the baby oil was probably for babies, so it was not for adults.
Because he has many kids.
No, because there was stuff happening with kids who existed. This is
No, to be fair, part of his charges is sex trafficking, and there was underage people who are being trafficked too.
Yeah. So this is just a hearsay. Do not quote me.
Yeah, let him go down, and I
Yeah.
think it's going to open the floodgates. I think many other people in the industry are not sleeping.
Yeah.
They are not sleeping.
Oh. There are people
Here's
who
I do
Kev
wonder.
has gone quiet. Can you see Kev is nowhere to be
Because
found?
I have a question. This guy, he had the video of Cassie,
yeah.
him beating up Cassie, bought the video off of the hotel, right?
Yeah.
And kept it. Didn't destroy it. Do you think he for sure had videos capturing, he was capturing videos of his freak off parties?
Yes, definitely.
Which means people who were there, who participated in the freak offs,
Are the ones who are going after him.
there's likely video tapes of them. Because the weird thing about people who are like this, because I think of like Epstein, etc.
Yeah.
One, there's a power thing, there's a messed up thing about them wanting to capture things. They want to have, some of them even rewatch,
Yeah.
even if it's them assaulting someone, they like to rewatch it. But also, when you've gotten to such a certain level of power, those things are also going to be used as blackmailing,
Yeah.
right?
You're using them as leverage to get what you want.
So you have to have that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they also have video content and the people who participated now are just.
Do you know there are very many celebrities who've actually gone and cleared their ex accounts?
Hey.
Yes. There are
People
people
are-
who've wiped their ex accounts.
This is tip anyone. This is the time to put on your LinkedIn that you're like a digital marketer PR. Somebody will hire you to just go and clear their
Yes.
go back. How old is X now? 10 years. Go back
Plus.
and clean.
Yeah.
I think
Whoa.
and we it's
PR companies are working hard.
it's as we were discussing the other day as well. We live in an age whereby the speed limit. I'm giving the speed limit as an analogy that things have changed from what it wasn't acceptable, but it was done without looking twice at it back then. Now people are looking twice. This is another version of of people just standing up for what they believe in because they see that, what those people were doing back in those days when it happened to me is wrong.
So it's interesting. I think
So-
there's part of it that was wrong. right? So I don't think in the 90s for sure, sleeping with an underage person was still wrong.
Yeah,
Even
but-
R. Kelly's case, right?
yeah.
For him to marry Aaliyah, they had to go fake her
Yeah,
birth certificate or something so he could marry her. So there is an element of knowing it's wrong.
Yeah.
But then there wasn't this frameworks or institutions or systems that could protect where
Yeah.
you know, oh, this has happened, I can go to, right? Versus now, as much as it's still wrong, but now, for example, they say now on movie sets, there's somebody who's there to, if there's going to be a romantic scene, there's like an intimacy coach to be like, okay, these are the boundaries, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. They knew it was wrong, but now they're implementing systems where you can check things,
Yeah.
right? So I assume even now, if music videos, there's people on set to make sure, oh, are you comfortable taking this off? Are you blah, 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 right? So the things, they still know it was wrong, but they didn't have the systems that either check or if something happens to you now, where do you go to?
Yeah. Yeah,
Versus now it's very clear.
Yeah.
This is who you go to. This should not happen. This blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think the rules
The
haven't
movie
changed.
studios are also
Yeah,
making an effort
but
to
at
change
least
that.
the
The
frameworks-
industry itself has inbuilt framework for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And it shouldn't have been like that. But
You know, I told myself I'm gonna watch Grey's Anatomy from the very beginning. I couldn't watch the first and second episode because there was a lot of I don't remember their names, but the doctor and the resident, the lady,
McDreamy.
you know, there was a lot of almost forcing her to.
Yeah.
There are some things that were acceptable even in TV back then that would
Yeah.
not be acceptable. You try watch Grey's Anatomy's first episode.
I'll try.
Season
No,
one.
I was never Grey's Anatomy. I just watch it when I catch it. But
Me
I was
too.
never
I never followed
that's crazy.
through. Yeah.
So it was a weird interaction between an adult and a
And yeah,
child.
somebody with more power.
With more power,
in
power
the,
play.
In the power.
Also, it wasn't an age thing. It wasn't a.
It wasn't an age thing, but the way
it's a workplace.
it's
Ah,
a
right,
workplace,
right,
and
right,
also it's almost demanded out of you, and sort of very like overt. Like you can tell that there's a power play here, and the person who's a bit lower in the ranks probably is not very receptive to it. So I felt really uncomfortable, and I was like, if this was 2024, I don't think it would have
would
gone
not
through.
fly.
It would
Yeah.
not have been published. Yeah.
There's also an interview with Justin Bieber and.
And Diddy.
No. What's the fat English guy?
Oh.
What's his name?
guy?
Corden.
James Corden.
James Corden. Yeah. This is the worst thing I've seen. Like this is really. I think I'm gonna link it here. And you know, it was just awkward the way he was addressing the kid, and you could see the kid is definitely he's very uncomfortable, but he knew he couldn't get up and leave. He didn't. He was too young for it to register in his head that you can get up and go.
Leave, yeah.
Oh, yeah, like
But he thought he had to sit here while this grown man makes inappropriate gestures towards him. You know.
Yes.
Now,
Same thing happened with I think Lindsay Lohan
yeah.
with who were the big talk shows back then? There's a guy who does interviews now on Netflix with big celebrities. He used to be a big late night. What's his name? He's talked to Obama. He's talked to what's his name?
Fallon.
David Letterman.
Letterman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was issues with I think how he interviewed Lindsay Lohan, maybe Paris Hilton. Anyway, these young girls who at the time were really young, some were underage, and how you can clearly see in the interview they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even Britney Spears, and they would even be like, haha, okay, can we not talk about? But it was very sexual, like sometimes talking about their breasts, etc. And this is acceptable. This is on late night TV. This is on a talk show. But back then, it was just they're like, hey, all
the
right.
speed limit was different. Now
It's
the
just-
road is
There
a
were
highway.
no rules to the game.
No, there was no rules to the speed. There was no
Yeah.
speed limit. You just go as fast as you want,
Yeah.
and then. But it's also it's great that it's happening, but I think it's too
Yeah.
late. It's very late
It's
as well.
very late.
It's
Yeah.
very late.
A lot
The-
has happened before.
a lot has
Yeah.
happened. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people, while
Yeah.
you are busy trying to figure out whether it's right or wrong, someone is being violated.
Yeah.
No.
You know?
But I think at least it's not too late for the young kids coming up,
That's true. That's
right?
true.
They'll hopefully get to experience a much more sane industry. Whilst there's even an interview that came out, and it was hard for me to watch. Some kids who were at, was it Nickelodeon, or there was Disney, there's Nickelodeon.
There was Nickelodeon.
Yeah. And they were not in like cartoons. Remember those shows?
The kids ones where you sort
Like
of
young
like
adults.
young adults.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And how a few of them were violated
that?
by some of the directors. And even now, looking back, there was things that were happening that as a kid, you're like, oh, that's funny. But it was actually quite sexual.
Yeah.
And they were also uncomfortable doing it, but it's written into the script. And so they're like, okay, we'll just act out. But anyway, a bunch of them came out now and talked about the experience and how, and I'm just like, even kids' TV shows.
It's crazy. We consumed those TV shows ourselves so much. I loved Nickelodeon.
Seventh Heaven.
Oh, Seth.
Their father.
The father and the kids.
No, the father has a case of molesting kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. So the father, who I think in the show was a pastor.
Yeah.
Or a preacher.
Because
in real life,
it was about a church, like a Christian family or something.
Yes.
Wait,
the guy has a case for.
Yeah, Camden family as the minister father and stay-at-home mother. The drama of having 7 children.
Yes,
that's why it was Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, he's a case of pedophile case.
Wow.
I think he served time. I don't know if he served time, but yeah. But there's before we finish. Did you see the? I guess should I say scandal? Whatever was happening with Shits and Gigs.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah.
So.
Shits and giggles.
Oh, it's for giggles. Giggles. I want to say giggles. Giggles.
Yeah.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah.
It's and probably this is a good topic to sort of bring up, like a conversation, because sometimes we sit in a podcast and some of these are people we look up to because they've been in the industry for a while, but you don't realize like something small like this. And for those who don't know, they were being interviewed by
Andrew Schultz on Flagrant.
Yes.
Flagrant 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, his podcast Flagrant 2, yeah.
And so it's James and Fuhad. And one of the things that they started talking about is the black women. And sort of he pushed the narrative of a black woman being violent, will make your hair not grow, will be like the stereotype you hear about a black woman, problematic, loud, violent, And they laughed it off. Like they laughed it off in front of him and they never pushed back. So if you didn't catch up, it's all over the internet. But I don't know what was your take on it. But my take was, if there was... So this is the thing about podcasts. So we do shoot a video and then do an edit. And there are options where you can say, oh, cut off that part. Even if in that moment you didn't feel comfortable, you could have gone back and be like, ooh, I don't think that would sit well. I think they were given that opportunity and they never cut off that
So
bit.
they never saw a problem with what
They
happened.
never saw a problem with that. That's my biggest problem because it wasn't a live show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to keep you up to date, this is a podcast is going to be another thing that will put people in a lot of trouble when time goes by, because a lot of people are making podcasts and they're saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
Under the moment, it might sound good to you at the point, but as time goes on, they might change the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might end up being a problem in society, the things that you have said. So I think we're going to come to a point when all the stuff that we say we're going to be held again, which is fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We say it with no malice. We don't mean to be bad, but we've said it all.
You see, this is the problem I have. Like, for example, let's say today I say I'm very pro-Swiss, and then 10 years down the line, being pro-Swiss is a problem. You see, that's a different change in the dynamics. But now we are talking about something that's very active in this moment, where if pushing the narrative of the typical Black woman is something you don't do because we are trying to remove that stereotype.
Yeah.
We are in this moment, you should not be saying things like that, you know?
Yeah.
You should not be accepting for Black women to be seen that
To
way.
be put down by some.
Have they responded?
Some
Have
dude
they
who's
said
not
anything in
even
response
fucking
in
Black.
regards to that?
I think they did.
They gave us, okay, so
Yeah.
apparently they gave an apology and people didn't like the apology.
Yeah.
So I think the video with the apology was edited because I think the apology was in the beginning. I need to check if it's still there. But from the internet streets, it was edited out. And then people noticed that some of the back catalog has been removed. Certain videos have been removed. And so now I started digging into, what's this bigger story about? But what Andrew Schultz was saying was not coming out of nowhere. That apparently they've talked about in previous episodes how they prefer white women. And I was like, I didn't know that because I don't watch all their content. I watch
snippets
bits
here
and
there.
pieces.
Yeah.
So there's people who in the comments were like, this is not surprising. These guys have always been this way. But I think maybe there are viewers who didn't know. Because also the video had come out months ago.
Yeah. Sometime in August, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then this now blew up just recently in late September.
Yeah.
So it means, I think somebody's theory was that the people who watch their stuff, well, this is their take. People who watch the stuff or are fans of them kind of already know this about them. So people who are like maybe Black women who want to watch content about men who are also either going to protect Black women or look after or are pro Black women. If they were watching the kind of content, this would have blown up before. But the fact that it took long
it means
that their audience either are maybe mainly white women, I have no clue, or people who already know this about them, and so this is not like a shocking thing. Because I was just like, hey, I found it really fascinating that it blew up
way after
the fact.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just like, I think I now live in an era where if you went for Black women, cool.
Yeah, move on.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It means I also won't consume your stuff because, okay.
This is something that I think people don't talk much about. And I think I probably sent you a link at some point. Nowadays, there's something called rage bait. The way there's something called clickbait, there is rage bait.
That's true, yeah.
Rage bait is where you go and do something that you know will get people stirred up to get more viewership. So there are people who actually create content knowing that Black women who would go and comment, the moment people are commenting, the people are saying things on your...
You're getting engagement.
You're getting engagement on your videos,
Yeah.
So there are people who actually are using rage bait to try and create content that will get people stirred up. So, and some of this, actually, I'm not saying that's what Andrew did, but you never know. Because he also had an interview where he talked ill of somebody with Down syndrome. Like he was interviewing him. I don't remember his name. But he was sort of making fun of him, of how he looked, And it is something he's known about where he makes this kind of jokes. And probably...
Like everyone can get it.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, not everyone. Like, you don't make fun of people on this kind of, a different ability is not something for you to make fun of, But the rage bait part is something people need to look out for. So if you see somebody says something ridiculous, imagine you don't need to comment.
Yeah, don't.
Scroll.
Even the whole, it's interesting. I saw so many videos were like, cancel shits and giggles. This guy should be cancelled. I'm like, just don't watch their stuff. If it's like, this has annoyed you, exit.
Yeah.
You don't need to go in there and be like, I am leaving. No,
You're
just
actually
go.
giving them more viewership, more
Yeah.
engagement, more money
Yeah.
in their pockets, because they get paid for their engagement.
It means
as
they're
well.
trending. They
Yes.
are on like.
Yeah, as for Andrew Schultz, they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that show.
Yeah, that's not their. That's not their
No,
place.
nothing. I think Andrew Schultz is really funny. His stand-up is very funny, but he pushes boundaries
Yeah.
when it comes to comedy.
Yeah.
And even the word boundaries in his type of comedy, I don't think there's that. There's no boundaries. Anyone can get caught. If it's fun, he thinks funny trumps anything else. He's out here to be funny.
Yeah.
So
if he gets the laugh,
every
then
joke has got a target. You will be the target one day. You just have to accept it, and that's the way it is.
yeah.
He's a comedian who's out there to make fun of the world for what it is.
Is he funny, really?
Yeah, I think
You've watched his stuff?
Yeah, I have. He's good. He's got some hard hitting stuff that if you are if you know someone who's within that area of target, like he's the person who's being targeted in this joke. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but a lot of his stuff is funny. You wouldn't say it out loud. Yeah.
Do you know that's the thing about the art industry and especially comedians? You have to know your target. So there are spaces where you would make such a joke, and there are spaces where
like he was playing the comedian there.
Yeah.
He's doing what he does. Like he's going to be funny is what he does, and it's 24/7.
Yeah.
So if he's on a podcast, those guys should have been smart enough to think to ourselves that listen, this guy could say something outrageous that could.
I think they're
really
also there
harm
as
our
fans.
body.
They're probably fans of him.
That's the problem.
So for them,
They
they're
are
like,
bigger
we are
than-
on this platform. Whoa.
No, they're way bigger than that.
But
podcast.
in the US, no.
No, 100%. Even in the US, they're
Oh,
way
they are?
bigger than that. Oh,
So why did they go there?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't know why they
Oh,
went there.
I felt like that.
No.
they
That,
are starstruck.
Or maybe they were
yeah.
starstruck because
they saw that.
I think there's so many things that I watched. That the things. There are times you can see things are just flying over someone's head.
Yeah.
So I think there are things that was just like, because Schultz is also really good on the fly. He's can be very improv based.
Yeah.
So he can think up.
He's a
things on
hit
the
and
spot.
run kind of joker.
Yeah.
He'll hit you
And
top.
if he finds something is and he can now it just starts flowing and he just starts hitting on that point. So sometimes the guest, it takes a while to catch up with because it's really quick. Yeah. And he tours a lot. So it means he's exercised that muscle so much. So I think maybe if you're used to a very structured, edited kind of podcast or platform, his platform would you'd just be left dazzled. You'd be like, wait, what? Because sometimes even when I watch just his podcast, even the one with Charlemagne, sometimes I'll be 10 minutes after the thing said, then I'll be like, I get that thing now.
Yeah.
Right? So if for those guys, maybe they're used to platforms that are very structured.
Yeah. And they just cut them off.
Yeah,
then.
coded
Yeah,
them
and
off.
some-
I think
But
that could be right.
I don't
actually.
give them benefit of a doubt because my thought process is it wasn't a live show. It was
That's
something.
true.
It wasn't.
For sure.
Yeah,
They
it was
didn't
something
see,
that
even
was
when it
stated
came out, they didn't go back and ask for
and apparently
to go
they
points.
were given a point to edit. I think Andrew came out and said
said it,
that.
yeah.
But they didn't. They removed other parts. So
Yeah.
there were parts we didn't see, but this part specifically didn't come out.
So they were sorry
So-
they were caught.
Yeah.
They're not sorry they did it.
Yeah. I'm available for booking if you need a manager. It's not, they call me the fixer part-time.
Do they?
Yeah, no, they don't.
I was like, who
For
they?
the sake of promotion, we'll use that. I probably shouldn't have said that. No, okay.
You should have just gone with it. They called
I
me.
should have
the
stuck with
fixer.
it.
Super. Yeah, great show. It's good. We'll see you next time.
On the
on
next one.
And thank you for keeping the comments coming
Yes.
and following and subscribing. We love it.
Yes.
Keep doing that.
Actually, can I put out a call if anyone?
Yeah.
We are thinking of talking about femininity and feminism.
Yeah.
If you can send your thoughts, no, not thoughts and prayers. If you can send your thoughts on feminism and femininity, it would be good to cover those. But this is a touchy topic for some of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Mm-hmm.